Welcome everyone to Founders Live Boston. So excited to have you guys join us today on this special live stream edition, our first ever live stream edition. And we have with us my co-city leader, Andy Lyons. Say hi,
Hey,
Andy.
everyone. We're just getting ready. We just want to say a quick hi to Nick Hughes, who's in the comment stream. So happy to see you. He's the founder of Founders Live. You're going to see a little bit about him later. And in the room with us, we have also our two experts. You have Robert Hughes and Eric Bulin. So happy you guys are here. We just have a little happy hour cheer. Everybody got the drinks. Because Founders Live is happy hour pitch event. And we don't want to leave that behind just because we're all here. Hey, look who's here too. We have Josh from Portland. Hey, Josh. He's a Founders Live. And then we have Andre. Hi, Andre. Everybody know him from the IX in Cambridge.
$100, whoever can pronounce his name first time, all the way last name. You get that? $100.
You're amazing. And then we have Michael Smith. He's our city leader, Founders Live. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
And then we have, hey, Dick. That's right. Founders Live Minneapolis. Woo! And then one of our favorites. Hi, Paulina. Great to see you. And then the woman who's running it all in the comment thread. Oh, Mama. Oh, greatness. She is our brand ambassador. We couldn't be here without her. So thanks, everybody, for shooting your comments in and keeping us alive and moving forward. So, AJ, here we are. We have this incredible event that's happened that has forced us all to go home.
Yeah, we're definitely living in uncharted territories. I'm definitely not used to this. I'm such a people person. I like kind of being with people all the time and engaging with people in person. But you know, you gotta adjust, and that's I think
right.
everyone's going through similar challenges right now.
And let's say a quick hi to Rachel. Hey, Rachel.
Rachel.
And then Vanessa, we miss you, Vanessa. She's the one who runs our event at CIC for us and makes it all look so wonderful when we show up.
Yes, Vanessa, we'll be back at Cambridge Innovation Center soon. Don't you worry. We'll be back.
Great. Yay. Oh, wait, we got so many great people. But yeah, so we've had to adjust as well. We usually have a nice happy hour of connecting and conversation, collaborations before we start our event. So tonight, AJ, who do we have joining us to have a wonderful conversation about how we're getting through the times?
Yeah, we have Eric Bulin and we have Robert Hughes. I think we are going to first start off with the Founders Live video for, we have a lot of people listening in from all different channels right now. And for those who haven't attended a Founders Live event, this video will just kind of give a sneak peek into what a live event is at our venues. And then we'll definitely go into our panel discussion with our two experts, and then later on go into the live pitches.
Excellent. Let's just say a quick howdy do to David from Founders Live in Dallas.
David.
Before we do that, okay. Welcome. So guys, I'm going to be setting up the screen share. No, we've got this. We're good.
We got this.
Absolutely.
Founders Live is a social platform for entrepreneurs all around the world. It's a community to inspire, educate, and entertain. We hold events in a growing number of cities that highlight emerging talent. And online, we have videos, posts, articles. As entrepreneurs, we're incredibly lonely sometimes, so I wanted to connect other founders to help solve their problems.
This is a good atmosphere to see the different problems that a lot of different industries and startups are handling.
The ultimate vision for Founders Live is a global entrepreneurial community where startups and founders connect with anyone else in the world, and instantly they've reached millions of people, possibly even raised money.
I love new ideas. I love hearing about businesses getting off the ground. Nick always packs the house.
Founders Live was created on a foundation of 4 core values. First, respectful authenticity. You should feel comfortable and just be who you are. Core value number 2, gather around the campfire. We're figuratively sitting around a campfire telling stories. So we encourage you to describe the future that you imagine.
We get everybody from all different age groups, all different industries, and talk about growing companies. It's what it's all about.
Core value number 3, open the door. My success has come from others opening a door for me. We encourage doing great things for people without expecting a return. And the final core value, no name tags. You'll notice that you're not wearing a name tag. That is just an analogy of removing the awkwardness. So if you want to know their name, simply walk up and shake their hand. People pitch their business idea with only 99 seconds. We have 4 minutes of Q&A, and you're going to cast your vote, infusing the 4 core values, short, exciting pitches, and then having a crowd around the world voting for the best startup creates such a unique experience. This will not be your last Founders Live event. We hope to see you at the next Founders Live.
Thank you very much, Andy. Wow, what a video. So keep sharing the screen, Andy.
Oh, keep sharing it? Oh, thank you. Okay.
Go
We're
right
going to
into
next,
that.
yes,
So,
of course. Here we go. All righty. And here we go. Hang in there, everybody. It's happening. It's happening.
there we go. So just to recap on the video, Founders Live, next slide.
Coming up.
Founders Live is now in almost about 60 cities globally, throughout the world. What started less than 3 years ago has now picked up a lot of scale, and we're empowering entrepreneurs and really getting them engaged with a lot of different members of the ecosystem in their own cities, and also opening up their mission to the entire world through our live streams, now powered by a couple of platforms, including Introvoke. Next slide. I think the biggest.
Okay, it's not moving forward. Hold on.
No problem.
Let's see if that'll work. No, it is. Here we go. Got it.
I think the one core value that I really hold dear is opening doors. As Nick said, the entrepreneurial road could be very lonely, especially times like this we're in right now. And if we could open our doors to as many entrepreneurs as possible through these gatherings, it really, really hits home to me. As I think about a lot of the milestones, not only Founders Live has achieved, but also Andy, me, Eric, Robert, in our respective organizations, I could say that we haven't been able to reach those milestones without someone actually opening those doors for us. And that's the culture we embrace here at Founders Live. At all our events, even if it's virtual as of today, we still have that core value to open the doors to not only the entrepreneurs that are actually pitching this evening, but also everyone who are coming to the event as well. Next slide. And to open these doors, we definitely could not do it without the support of some of our amazing partners. We just have, for the first time, First Republic Bank joining us for the spring and summer. Thank you, Rob. Of course, we have Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform, Cambridge Innovation Center, who has been amazing for us over the past year or so. Together, these partners, really support these founders. And throughout the 75 founders that we featured through almost a year and a half, we've been successfully able to give away $375,000 in AWS credit, and also $125,000 in Google Cloud services. That's almost $500,000 to these founders who desperately need that type of support, especially early stage like that, where they're really like scraping and clawing to really get their platforms off the ground and to scale. So we really could not do any of this without our really amazing partners. Next slide. So we're about to get the show on the road. But first, since I mentioned earlier, we are living in uncharted territories, and this is really going to test us as entrepreneurs. And the entrepreneurial, the environment is kind of volatile right now. But this is where we shine. This is where we really have to pick up the pieces and really dig deep to really support a lot of the initiatives that need to happen. So I'd like to kind of just lead a candid panel with Rob, First Republic Bank, Director of Tech Venture, and also with Eric Bullen, the well-known angel investor here in Boston, and also mentors a lot of different startups in a lot of different industries here in the Boston area. And just wanted to kind of open the conversation up and really ask both of you guys, how are you guys adjusting to this new normal personally with your own teams? And definitely what advice do you have to all the founders out there right now tuning in? For me, it's been extremely challenging. We found out Tuesday that 80% of our team is actually outsourced in India. And we found out on Tuesday that India is basically shut down for 3 weeks, 21 days. And thank God we've been able to kind of get ahead of a lot of things throughout last weekend and really kind of scramble to get that, remote infrastructure where a lot of our engineering team can kind of start working from home. But it was really a difficult challenge, as you can imagine. And that's what personally, my team has been dealing with over the past couple of weeks. But let me open it up to Eric. Eric, actually, let Andy, why don't you go first? How you've been coping? I know you engage with a lot of startup founders. You mentor at a lot of different tech accelerators here in the Boston area. How things been going on your end?
Well, it's been a tough time for a lot of people. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is a time where you hope you can put your business on pause. You hope that you can find ways to use some marketing freemiums to sort of keep things going if you're a B2B. But the reality is hopes and dreams are being challenged right now. But the good news is that founders know how to do hard. Okay, they have been working so hard. They've built up those resilience and tenacious muscles and perseverance and have been able to find their way to where they are today. Now, these are acts of God that happen in life. A pandemic, you cannot predict that when you're doing your business model and forecasting. So finding ways, creative ways to make things happen. One of our folks that were supposed to pitch tonight, his grandmother got severely ill with COVID-19. He had to just drop everything, all hands on deck. These are the things that are happening for founders. You just don't know how it's going to affect you. I just want to tell everybody, stay in touch, call, reach out here online, come to these kind of online events, talk to other founders. We're all struggling, and this is where the online presence can really help. You don't have to be perfect, yet we're all holding hands as we struggle through this time with this pandemic. And I am already seeing, AJ, signs of people pivoting and innovating and finding other ways to bring their business to the world where their customers, they may not need them right now, but there's ways to move forward and keep funding in. It's just a very, very tricky time. I want everybody to know I'm here for you anytime you need me.
Definitely. Eric, how are things going on your end?
Yeah, I would say similar. I think last week was week one, right, where everybody was scrambling and trying to figure out what, or didn't know exactly what was happening, what was going to happen. I think this week we're moving into mode where we're starting to figure it out, right, overall. And what's happening is in part of two angel groups, Walnut Ventures and Launchpad Ventures. And we're working very closely with our portfolio companies and founders and CEOs to help them through this. Many of us have been through the recession of 2001 and 2008 and 2009, so we've been through this. Those were very painful as well. But I think in the end, the strong companies that have a strong business model, that have identified a real need in the market, they will survive. And like you mentioned, right, some companies are actually starting to pivot and looking at other potential revenue streams and seeing how they can adjust the business model to make this work in this new world of remote work, or people staying more at home, or even helping out in healthcare and life sciences and really focusing on that. So it's been an interesting time. We are spending time with the founders to figure out, for instance, how do you reduce cash flow and the burn, how to conserve cash. That's really the top priority right now. And then at the same time, I think last week you could say, in terms of forecasting, who knows, right? The next quarter sales forecast is off the table. I think over the next few weeks, we'll start figuring out, especially now that government funding is available. I think we're starting to get things under control in terms of some of the businesses. So yeah, I think we will make it through this, but there will be some pain. I think, and going back to what you alluded to, I think we all will need to have faith that will prevail. But at the same time, have the discipline to be realistic about what we're facing, right? And be honest about it as well.
And do you find yourself, Eric, diving in shoulder to shoulder with your portfolio now, the founders that you've invested in? Are you helping them out in a certain way? Are you observing? How does that work for you?
It varies depending on the relationship that I have with the companies. Some I'm diving in very, very much in depth, more of an operation side, and others more of an advisor piece, and being the shoulder to or the person they can call up and talk to about these issues, whether it's at a high level, very specific issues around sales, marketing, or customer success, or even forecasting, figuring out cash flow, adjusting the business model, and so on. So it really varies. And I think the needs also varies for the startups depending on the industry that they're in, the life cycle they're in, the types of funding that they have gotten as well. I think that there are some companies that have, let's say, just closed funding, and they're in luck, right? They have the runway for the next, let's say, 12 to 18 months. Some are still in the midst of raising, and then they now need to decide strategically where to spend their money, and possibly even put some of the hiring plans on hold at this point, right? But I think it's also forcing some founders and CEOs to think more. I think have possibly more discipline in terms of where to spend money, right? I think there's been this party atmosphere sometimes, right, in terms of these big funding rounds. So I think I think this might be a good thing in some ways as well.
And what I'm seeing too is collaboration.
Right.
Among startups, like, I can't afford this full salary of this person anymore, but want to share, finding ways to work with other founders so that they can both, bootstrap their way through this. Robert, how have things been in your world? Of course, we all know you from your ability to get around town, and you just share your glow everywhere. And now you're hashtag WFM, working from home. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I started 2 new hashtags, hashtag work from home bod and hashtag work from home brain. And I think both of those are really good. Everybody I'm talking to knows me is like, how are you doing? And I keep saying I'm a Ferrari in traffic. And it's just kind of bewildering to not be able to be with people, spend time with like meeting new people, which is what I love doing. And I hate video. Like, this is the worst possible scenario for me. So,
and you're
like sitting still is like brutal.
I have 2 introverts at home, that nothing's changed for them. But for you, for me, AJ, we're like, where is everybody?
Yeah, I think I'd fooled myself into thinking like I was an extroverted introvert, and like this has been a daunting reality. Like, no, you're just an extrovert. Like, you just get tired sometimes because you're not RoboCop, and like that's okay. Oddly, like my new hire, who's like going to be me number 2, started as soon as we got the work from home ordinance from our company. So, we're work from home until June, and they told us that like 2 weeks ago. So we're kind of like, my work line of business, that it's all face-to-face with customers, meeting startups, meeting venture capitalists and angel investors. That's my day-to-day, is doing that and doing events and one-on-one meetings all day. I can't do that anymore. And there's only so much of my ugly face at this angle that people want to see. In fact, I would gander that most of the audience here is already sick of me. So yeah, I think it's been pretty challenging.
On the venture side, what do you
yeah.
see with the high growth enterprise world? I mean, what's happening there?
Right. It's a mixed bag. It depends on like where you are in your life cycle. Did you just raise funding? Did you get your first? Did you do a call? Are all the funds committed? Are you still raising capital? There's variances. What size of fund you are, and who your investor base is going to really dramatically impact funds' ability to, like, some micro funds are going to go under because of the inability to raise get LP money. So there's a trickle down effect of the public markets becoming like really, really compelling for like family offices and institutional investors. There's a lot of opportunity in the public market right now that just simply didn't exist for the last 3 years. And so there's a lot of upside to be had. And so given the alternative between instant returns or fairly instant returns and being an LP on a fund, some institutional investors are going to be looking for opportunities in the public market versus trying something new or being a fund of funds. So you're going to see the trickle down effects, I think, of this in probably 12 to 18 months, when a lot of the micro funds that are on like fund 2 or fund 3 are going to have trouble raising or closing their funds. And it might have like a cyclical effect on everything.
Wow.
So, understanding that, what kind of advice do you have for very, very early stage entrepreneurs who probably are in the middle of closing a round right now? What are some things that they should kind of be aware of and prepare themselves for?
I think it's going to take longer to close around, and Eric would be a better subject matter expert for this. I think what we're seeing and what we're hearing a lot is that people have term sheets and they're not closing the deal because they want more information, and every day they get more information about what to expect. So why would you sign off on a term sheet? Why would you send the wire for the money if you can wait? And so I would say I don't like giving generalized advice, because I think every startup and every company actually has its own stimulus or inputs that they need to be successful. So, but what I do think is a really good idea right now is like run lean. Like, I would adopt a little bit of a cockroach mentality of like, I just need to survive until I understand what the landscape looks like. Unless you're in a position where your business could really be positively impacted, and this could be a very positive thing for your business. In that case, run fast. But otherwise, like, let's cut costs. Let's be really thoughtful about what we're doing. Be thoughtful about our voice in the market, and like, let's just see where things settle, because you don't really want to be dumping gasoline on a pile of sticks that has no fire.
You're right.
Great point. So Eric, go on.
Yeah, Robert, I agree with that. Running lean is super important. And I think, in times of crisis like this, true leadership is really shown. And I think we're looking at a lot of the portfolio CEOs and how they're working through this right now. We looked back at data for Launchpad, actually, and 3 of the top highest return investments that we made were during the recession of 2008 and 2009. So we're definitely still open for business. I do expect generally that angel investments, from a broad perspective, there will be less, but more focused. And I think people will be more selective. At the same time, there's an argument that valuations will come down as well, which is very attractive for early stage investors. So we see this as a positive as well.
Eric, I was going to say on the angel investment side, I think you're going to see a differentiation between checks being written by the wealthy and checks being written by the rich. So the wealthy have been in cash positions for the last 24 to 36 months because there aren't that many opportunities in the market. They're pouring money into the market, which is why you're seeing that sort of curve where it's not just diving down. You're seeing these fluctuations of gains because people with real money have been like, hey, there's no upside here. So they're not feeling it the same way that people that, are in a 401k or a robo-advisor are feeling it on the personal side of like what the public markets are doing to their pocketbook. So they're able to like, hey, this is time for me to make up ground here. I've been sitting in cash positions. I'm going to be more aggressive than ever because I'm not going to have another opportunity like this for another decade.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
That's some light at the end of the tunnel.
That is definitely some light at the end of the tunnel. And I mean, it's times like these where, really, when you see how entrepreneurs that's when they find hope and opportunity out of despair. By solving huge problems that exist, whether it's in government and finance, problems that exist in agriculture or the supply chain, problems that deal with social inequities and education as well. Right now, this is the time where if you're solving a major problem, you're needed now more than ever. And that's why, some people were telling us, yeah, you should probably cancel the event tonight. But Andy and I said, hey, the show has to go on because this is what we do as entrepreneurs. We grind it out and we find solutions for problems that are out there.
I'm excited about it, Jay. I know someone just got laid off, lost their job, and they said, well, what the heck? I'm going to go ahead and start a business. Yeah. And wanting to do that, but they didn't want to leave the cushion of the job. But now that everything's pulled aside, so why not try it? Go and do it.
Yeah. I think today, now more than ever, is where you really need to look at your business and realize, is your business, is it a vitamin or is it a painkiller? Right now, if it's a painkiller, you're gonna probably survive and do extremely well. If it's a vitamin, you're gonna kind of be in for some tough times. But
wait, someone create a meme, please, with that, AJ. I love that.
AJ had a different way I've been saying it. I was like, is your business nice or is it necessary? And you're gonna find out like whose business is for real and who's is like really just a byproduct of a 10-year bull market. That there's so much fluff out there now, and we're gonna see who's for real and who's necessary and who's just that's nice but not needed.
Great.
Any closing remarks, Eric, before we move on?
It would just say we'll make it through this, right? I don't think it's going to be 3 weeks. It's not going to be 18 months. Who knows right now? But I think in probably 3-4 months we'll start making through this, and we'll be for the better of it. I think this is all a learning experience for everyone. And I think, as we've discussed, I think there's a lot of innovation coming out of this too, and people seeing opportunities to really make a difference and create a better world. So I'm excited about that.
Can I say one last thing? Because I think it's important to end on a positive note. And I feel like the last was a little doomsday. There's been like some incredible things that are happening. And I think the most promising one is that scientists and chemists around the world for the first time in our knowledge are collaborating and giving away their IP at scale. So they're on Twitter, they're on Slack channels, and they're sharing what they're learning so we can get to a cure faster. As these pandemics continue to increase because of the global population and the density problems and the problems with scarcity of resources that we have, it's important that we change our behavior in response to them. And I do think like the silver lining is that people are figuring out how to work together faster, and the next time we'll be more prepared.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you, Robert. So moving on, it's basically time to start our pitch competition, guys.
So we're going to say goodbye to Robert and to Eric because they're going to be focusing on the pitches so that they are going to come back in with their questions for these founders. But I'll explain all of that in just a second. So let me
I make a request, Andy? Next time, don't put me on with like such a beautiful man. Like, this is not fair that I'm sitting, and luckily we're not side by side, so you can't see how much better looking Eric is than me. I would like a less appealing panelist with me next time. This is not cool.
I love that. I mean, there's a lot of selfies that aren't happening right now because nobody can make it to the beauty salon. So you're good. That's so great. Oh, Eric, I tell you, I've got pictures in on our Instagram feed if you ever want to see Eric in all his glory. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
You guys.
Okay. All right. So, folks, this is where we get serious about our event. This is where we go into the pitches, the 99-second pitches with our founders. So here are the rules of engagement at a founders live pitch event. Everybody usually comes into the room, gets settled in. We have our opening remarks, etc. And then we start one right after another. Founder is going to give their 99-second pitch, share their startup in 99 seconds. I have Alexa right here. So she's gonna help me. I should have said that so loud. She's gonna help me keep time. And when they're done, and sometimes they're gonna be a mid-sentence and they will be done, we go to you, the audience. So those of you watching, we need you to put your comments, your questions into the stream so that I can pull them up. Just like this one right here. Here's Paula. She's our intern from Haverhill, Mass. That's how we'll pull the comments up, okay? So we need your questions, all right? And then after you have 4 minutes of Q&A, then we bring Eric and Robert back into the room and they ask their tough questions. And we go deeper. Then we go right on to the next founder. They go through the same process until the end. And then we have our crowd favorite voting. And that's when we're going to put the QR code up. You're going to go like this, take a picture of the code. It'll take you right to the page you need to go to, and you can vote for your crowd favorite. And, the crowd favorite gets an additional 10,000 in AWS credit. Each of the founders pitching already get 5,000. But the crowd favorite will get 10,000. So vote for your favorite and give someone a lift, okay? Anything else? Oh, and those of you like Rachel, et cetera, who have been to the Founders Live and Vanessa Live know that I am all about a huge round of applause to give our founders a lift. So, I'll just grab this and we'll just go woohoo from the comfort of our home and cheer these founders on, because it takes a lot of courage to get in front of everybody and share their dreams. All right, so I'm just going to do a little housekeeping here, get rid of this, and get ready to introduce. Are you good, AJ, with that? Okay. We're bringing her on right now. Hello, Samara Walker. Oh,
Samara.
Oh, your volume. Let's
Hi.
Yay. Let me go ahead and get there she is. Okay, Samara, so I am going to go do screen share and get your slide up. So everybody get ready for a wonderful pitch. And I'm going to have to tell Alexa 99 seconds. So when you hear me tell her, then you'll start, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'll be right with you. And you'll remember to say next, or I'll move the slides like AJ did.
Okay.
There we go.
Alexa, set the timer for 99 seconds.
1 minute and 39 seconds, starting now.
Hi, my name is Samara Walker, and I am the CEO and founder of Auto-B. I think now more than ever, we can really appreciate, understand how important it is going to be able to understand how to manage and scale your business, especially by using the proper system and tools for diversified clients. The problem? I think we all understand disproportionate access is a real thing, but for beauty and wellness professionals to actually be able to service women and men of color, it's real as well. They have limited access to data, so in turn, they quite don't understand their clientele. They have unsatisfactory services across the board. 68% of women are unhappy with their services, and also alignment for products can be quite difficult when it comes to diverse clients. Next, our solution, Auto-B, is providing an all-inclusive platform for beauty and wellness professionals to be able to manage and scale their business. All professionals on our platform will go through a pre-vetting process to ensure we're providing quality services on demand. And also, our online beauty marketplace is not only for customers, but for professionals to be able to purchase wholesale quality products as well. Our team, I am the CEO and founder, our COO and our CTO. Combined, we have 50 plus years experience in finance and technology. And with my prior experience in beauty, we'll be able to grow and manage Auto-B. Next is our business model, our transaction fees. Every professional on our platform will be charged a transaction fee. Our enterprise contracts and partnerships along with our products. Here are some of our current traction to date, and we actually are going to be pivoting into wellness as of August 2020. Thank you.
Oh, are you done? That was it?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you, Alexa.
Sorry, I forgot to say next.
Great timing.
Thank you. I timed myself.
That was great. And it feels like it's much easier when it's not live, but you're live streaming. Okay, so I'm looking to see if we've got any questions from the audience. You know, our audience at the show, at our live event, are always adding wonderful value, and so excited. Okay, well, we'll just bring this up. So excited to learn more about beauty tech. Yay, Renee. Any questions from the audience? Well, we may have to go. Samar, when did you launch this?
I actually launched in 2018. We started off as a nail polish brand, and we decided to pivot based on our experience and our interactions with other beauty professionals into beauty technology.
Great. And where are you as far as money coming in? Where are you in the traction end?
Yeah, so we actually are waiting to get into the iOS store. We have the app in Android, and we're going to be doing like a private beta launch. And due to everything that's happening with COVID-19, we're actually going to be testing with tutors and educational professionals. They're going to be kind of our private testers until we're ready to get back into beauty and wellness with everything happening with salons and fitness studios being closed, because they're kind of at the forefront right now with kids staying at home. So we figured that would be kind of the best market right now.
Great. And Robinson has a question. Can you explain your background again, please?
Yeah, so my background is heavily in finance and analytics. I've been in healthcare since I graduated college, so maybe about 7 years now. So a lot of financial reporting, understanding business metrics, marketing. So that's kind of my experience, is heavily in finance.
Great. And we've got another question here. Gamal Walker, great job. How is your lifestyle brand aligned with this new normal in terms of focus on health?
Yeah, so our new lifestyle brand that we're launching is going to be in wellness. Originally, we had set wellness aside for 2021, but with everything happening, we figured right now would be a great idea to launch into wellness at the end of the summer, because a lot of people are going to be focused on like how to stay healthy, a lot of nutrition, to kind of, with the ramp up of the pandemic, to really understand like what's important. And beauty might be on the back burner. Like, it's important to get your hair done and look nice, but I think people are really going to understand and try to focus on their wellness.
Maureen Wall, how many different products do you have?
Yeah, so currently right now we actually only have one product, which is the nail polish, and we plan on rolling out other products as well once we kind of get to more funding and more cash on hand. All of our products are going to be vegan and, you know, cruelty free, to make sure we're, you know, saving the environment, keeping it very healthy and clean.
And Erica, we just wants to say, I love this beauty tech idea. Thank you, Erica. And now we have a great, listen, audience, you're making my heart sing so much with your great questions.
Good job, audience.
A really good job. So Joseph, how are you going to gather data to empower your clients?
Yeah, so we have a lot of data right now from our previous beauty professionals that we have worked with. So we're really focusing on a lot of beauty tips and how to manage your business. We have a business dashboard that's embedded within the platform, so they can actually understand their revenue. You know, what actually. What are some of the services that I am providing? Like, is it the lash services? Is it the yoga studio? What services are actually driving my revenue? Because right now, a lot of beauty professionals use kind of a lot of third-party systems. So they're using Venmo and Cash App and Gmail Calendar and Yahoo Calendar. So there's no all-inclusive place for them to actually understand all the data at the same time.
And Dick, what is your biggest obstacle that you're trying to overcome right now, other than COVID-19 related issues? Great question, Dick.
The biggest obstacle, I guess, right now is going to be, well, a lot of our developers are based in India. So as you know, everyone's kind of on lockdown. That's a big thing to consider because they're not here. So we have to do a lot of Zoom chats and a lot of phone calls with the time difference. So there's a lot of things in regards to development. And then this also with our enterprise contracts and partnerships, we'll have to wait to kind of the studios open back up to kind of get that, you know, going.
All right, we're going to wrap up with just a quick one here from Elizabeth. Congrats, Samara. It's so nice to see that. And so let's bring our experts back in the room and get their feedback. Okay, so guys, let me set the time. Alexa, set the timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, starting now.
Okay. Who wants to go first, Eric or
Eric,
Robert?
you're the professional. You do it. You go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. Good job, Samara. I had a question around, I like the way you started off with the problem and then got into the solution overall. What I didn't quite understand is, can you talk a bit more about the market size and segmentation and the specific customers that you're targeting?
Yeah, so the market size in general for the beauty is 532 billion right now, and then wellness is expected to reach 1.1 trillion. So our target market right now is going to be from ages 25 to roughly 45 years old. Really a lot of women and men of color that don't have access to a lot of these kind of huge brick and mortars. So see, for example, Dry Bar and SoulCycle. Typically, especially if you're from Boston, when you go into these facilities, I specifically, speaking from experience, and typically I'm the only woman of color. And it's not because they don't have the proper tools or proper resources, or, you know, the bikes don't spin the same, right? It's actually the marketing and the access for people to feel included in these wellness and these beauty spaces as well.
Okay, and you're two-sided marketplace, right?
Yep.
Okay, so typically one side is harder to acquire than the other. What's your perspective on that? Which side is harder to acquire, and what do you intend to make sure you create that market?
So the hardest side to acquire is going to be the customer base, the actual customers downloading the app and trying to book professionals. So we're really focused on ramping up professionals on the platform. So getting people who own yoga studios and fitness studios, getting people who kind of are on demand that do hair and makeup at their, you know, at their house or at beauty salons, or actually on demand and coming to you. So we focus on getting professionals on the platform first. That already have a consistent clientele, and then rolling out to consumers. So when they do actually download the app, they can actually book services, because we found that that was a huge problem where people are downloading these new apps, but they actually can't render the services because they're not in their areas.
Right. Okay. Hey, Robert, over to you.
Yeah, I was wondering what the moat is for, by the way, great job, Samara.
Thank you.
I was wondering what the moat was for why somebody would want to do their transactions on your platform versus just taking it off platform. Is there?
Yeah, so I think from my prior experience, just from interacting with beauty professionals as a whole, they really are looking for something that's all inclusive. So we know that Square exists. We know that we have PayPal and Venmo and Cash App, but they're kind of using 8 different systems to manage one different service. So for them, they have no real way to understand, like, you know, what service is really bringing me the real revenue. Now I have to go through these 4 different parties to actually understand what I made this week. So they said that, like, you know, there's really no all-inclusive platform for them to actually be able to manage everything on all-in-one. So that's kind of an incentive for them. They don't have to, everything's involved. Like, they can book their appointments, they can get alerts, they can send updates, they can do all pay appointments, they can tip. Everything is included within that platform, specifically geared towards beauty and wellness professionals.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome job, Samara.
I have a question, Samara. So a lot of these platforms, especially beauty, they need a lot of like inventory management integration because they sell different products. So walk me through that user experience of, if I were a beauty professional and I'm also selling products, how would I integrate that with your platform?
Yeah. So essentially you would download the app, and then not all professionals are allowed on the platform because there's a small pre-vetting process. You would upload your portfolio. You'll go through like a small we have a orientation process where you'll see my face, and I'm just discussing how important it is for us, you know, to manage the business, how important it is to be clean, sanitation, and then, you know, we'll go through the process. They have to actually have their license on the platform as well before they're accepted. Once they're accepted to the platform, there's going to be kind of a beauty arsenal profile. So they'll be able to scan. So say you go to Target, or, you know, I have inventory at my house. I can scan my products into my personal curate profile. So anybody who actually books Samara can see that these are some of the products that I use for my services. Vice versa, the customer can also scan their own products into their profile. So as a beauty professional, I can also see what products they have as well. So the whole goal is to actually create a personal experience for both parties on the platform.
That's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Excellent. Round of applause. Thank you. Everybody's cheering in the background. Woo, woo, woo. Amazing. And we're going to say goodbye to Samara, and we're going to introduce our next founder, which is so exciting. And we're going to say goodbye to Robert and Eric again for a little while our next founder comes in and shares her business. Hello, Amy Jackson.
Hey, Amy.
Yeah.
From Statera. We're so excited to have you on board. Let me go take care of the slide situation. I feel like a game show host tonight, AJ. Okay. Here I go. I'll be right back with you. And all right, Alexa, set the timer for 99 seconds.
1 minute and 39 seconds. Starting now.
All right, Amy, go.
Hello, I'm Amy Jackson. I'm the CEO of Statera. Next slide, please, Andy.
Coming.
Physician burnout is a silent epidemic in the United States. These numbers are pre-COVID-19, but about a month ago, 42% of our physicians were considered burnt out, which is the biggest indicator that they'll be leaving clinical practice in the next 2 years. This is a high cost to our society. By 2030, we anticipate being between 50 and 150,000 physicians short for care in our country. The financial cost is huge as well. It costs between $500,000 and $1 million to replace a single physician that leaves practice. Now, there are a few drivers of physician burnout, but today I want to talk about financial stressors. Most physicians don't actually know how much they're going to make in any given month or what factors drive that number. And for anyone who has bills to pay, which is most of us, that's pretty relatable. And then you combine that with a busy schedule that they actually don't have any control over and an average of $200,000 in med school loans, and it makes for a pretty stressful situation. Next slide, please. We created Statera to bring transparency and predictability to clinician compensation. We bring clinicians agency over their own life so they can determine the work-life balance that's right for them. We bring them renewed confidence in the institution or hospital that employs them. We bring transparency and predictability to their personal finances, and we rehumanize care for them by removing the distraction of administrative and financial concerns and recentering them on the joy of providing medicine.
Oh, you're done. Alexa off.
All right.
Well, everybody, just a quick glance right there. I'm going to stop. Beautiful.
That was
Great
close.
job. I mean, you talk about timing for your business. Oh my gosh, let's bring the experts back in. Hello, Eric and Robert. Oh, wait a minute. No, not yet. We got to go to the audience. Sorry. Bye, guys.
No problem.
Hold on. Over to my comments. Okay. Everyone, comments for Amy. It takes a little while for everybody to see this in the stream. Oh my goodness. I won't make that one mistake again. Anyway, let's see if we have any questions from the audience. In the meantime, AJ, any thoughts? I mean, my thought immediately, Amy, is the fact that, oh my gosh, if that was the burnout rate before COVID, you're really addressing such a huge issue that when after this is over, people are going to be like, sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you working with any medical institutions right now in the Boston area? There's such a plethora of organizations. Who are you working with right now?
There are. We're currently working with Brigham and Women's Hospital was our first client, and they rolled out our product across 10 specialties. And currently in active discussions with a few others, although as Andy mentioned, rightfully so, their energy is diverted elsewhere at this moment, particularly within Boston and New York.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Megan says, do you have any idea of how burnout has increased in the past few weeks?
Yeah, so it's not something that's been measured. Usually those studies take months to perform, but anecdotally, I've been talking to clinicians across the country, and if you picture the stress we're all under right now, but then add the fact that they don't have childcare and they are working in the hospital, they can't care for their children right now. They're worried about getting their own family sick just by doing their job. a lot of clinicians are seeing a severe drop in their compensation right now. So financial concern is real for them as well. I do anticipate this will skyrocket the burnout, both short-term and long-term.
Okay, and Amanda wants to know, what does the platform look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a easy to read visualization tool. We know that we're talking to clinicians, not to financial experts. So we have a variety of graphs that we can display for each organization or subspecialty that show both their actual paycheck as well as their earned compensation, because those can be different. And then the productivity and quality or outcome metrics that contribute to that.
Awesome. Oh, let me just click her off. And then Eric Cox has a question. How much do student loans and malpractice insurance contribute to burnout?
A lot, a ton. We know that burnout's a huge issue, especially in the United States, where student loans are just a major problem. Malpractice insurance is a little bit more opaque to clinicians, but the malpractice, the average physician in the United States gets sued at least once, right? That alone is stressful. There's a lot of research behind why that happens. That being said, there are countries that don't have high amounts of student loans like we do that are also experiencing the burnout. And it's simply the throughput and the administrative and financial stressors that we put upon them. It makes it a broader issue.
And one last question from the audience is, what was the response at the Brigham so far? Good question.
So far, it's been a fantastic, very supportive relationship. We are just moving forward with them actually as a partner long-term, which is really exciting for us. And we anticipate rolling out additional clinicians next week.
Yay!
I have a question, Amy. So this burnout that you're tracking, there's a lot of different specialties for these healthcare professionals. So do you see there being a bigger pain in one specialty over another? And if so, are you going to launch in that particular specialty first, or are you kind of just using the whole hospital as your pilot?
Yeah, so burnout is across the board, all specialties. It does vary a little bit, but yes, it's a problem everywhere. We tend to see ourselves partnering more with surgical and procedural specialties who historically have used what's called a fee-for-service model. So they're a very productivity-based and still working towards incorporating quality and outcome metrics into their compensation models. And that's something we want them to do, right? If you do 100 surgeries, but you kill 99 of your patients, we should care about that and incentivize towards that.
It's time to bring Robert and Eric in this time, but I just want to say that Dick has a great question in the threads, and Holly has a great question. So maybe you hop on Facebook and when it's all over, and you can chat with those folks if you'd like. So I'm gonna go like this. Hey guys, welcome back. Alexa, set the timer for 4 minutes.
Hey, can I start on this one, Annie?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, go right
great
ahead.
job. This is like at First Republic, we do a couple of things really well. One of them is student loan refinances, and one of the biggest areas that we've been making seeing a huge difference is with doctors and physicians. The other was surprisingly dentists. Like if you think doctors have it bad, you should check out the student loans that dentists acquire. Like it's pretty incredible. But yeah, it's a big stressor. I'm really at the part of the platform that's really intriguing to me is like what they're actually making. I didn't know that they didn't have insight into that. So that's very enlightening. Is this something that you're planning to sell through the hospitals to the doctors, or is it is it a B2B2C model then?
Yeah. So the hospital is our client, and that's they benefit engagement, retention. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, and then I'm guessing they're going to log on. It's like sort of an employee platform, so they can actually see what they're making and have options to refinance their student loans, and maybe I'm guessing some kind of financial advisor to sort of optimize. Yeah. Okay. So I can pretty much see all the revenue streams. Pretty cool. Awesome. Good job.
Yeah. I will say, I'm going to throw in a really quick plug. We are imminently releasing a direct to clinician free product to help manage the staffing crisis that we associated with COVID-19. So we'll be piloting in the next week at 2 Boston hospitals, but there will be a clinician shortage as we get to the peak of COVID-19. So that will be direct to clinician.
If you need an in at Mount Sinai, one of my clients has some good inroads there and down in New York, so I can try to make that connect happen. He's an awesome dude and loves helping out other founders. So just hit me up. I'm happy to help you with that.
Thank you.
Excellent. Any thoughts, Eric?
Yeah, Amy, how are you? So I know a little bit about your business from the past. I was wondering, it would really help me to understand the problem more, and then how are you solving that, is to really understand the clinician compensation model and why it's variable, right? And why that creates so much stress with clinicians. So it might be helpful for the audience as well to understand that. And then second, how are you solving that specifically?
Yeah, so I'll do it efficiently as I can. Average clinician compensation model, especially at an academic medical center, consists of 15 to 30 components sometimes. So you have a base salary, and then there are variables by your rank, your tenure, your productivity, the type of clinical work you do, quality and outcome metrics. And we see some people measure 1 or 2 quality metrics, some measure 30 and hold you accountable for that many. Whether you take ICU coverage or overnight call coverage or coverage at network hospitals within your regional network, medical directorships or other leadership positions. Some of those pay out for a day of work, some pay out once a year. You don't necessarily know the frequency with which you get paid out. Sometimes you'll get big unexpected bonuses, or in some cases, some institutions also do clawbacks. So you'll get paid and then maybe have a dip in performance, maybe take a vacation, go to a conference, and they'll actually draw money back from you. You'll owe money to your employer if you underperform against expectation. So there's a lot of multipliers and factors applied to that as well. And what we do is we take all of those data points and run the calculations within our software and then display that cleanly to the clinician. So generally, they don't even have all of that data at hand in a single document. And if they do, often they don't understand it or the implications. So we translate it and make it easy to read for the layman.
Alexa, off. Everybody's Alexas in the room are all talking to them now. That was wonderful. Great questions. Audience, you blow my mind. Seriously, terrific questions in that engagement as well. Amy, what a relevant business. Another round of applause, everybody.
Yeah.
This is like, dang, awesome.
Andy,
All right.
are you thinking about switching this to be like the new format for Founders Live?
I like hugging in person and hanging out in real life, but yeah.
Same.
And one more question from Elizabeth D is, who pays for the platform? So you can hop in the threads if you'd like. That most of the questions were from the YouTube thread. All right, Robert and Eric, thank you for joining us. Amy, thank you. I'll be removing everybody and bringing in our next contestant. Startup founder. It's feeling like a I just need to fix something over here before I bring you in, Winglet. Hang in there. Okay, just want to make sure I had that ready to go. And our next founder is ready to rock the world with their 99-second pitch. I want to hear the cheering going on right now. Here they come. Oh, I got to get rid of this. Hold on. We're bringing in Rick and where is he? There he is, Mitch from the Winglet.
Ready to rock the world.
Hey, Rick, Mitch, go.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We love it when both founders can show up like this. This is amazing. All right, guys, I've got to go get my act together and get the screen share happening. So give me a second, please, while I put your, I have your logo, or do you want me to just go right to that one slide?
That one slide is fine. Thank you.
Perfect. I'm on it. I got this. Alexa, set the timer for 99 seconds.
1 minute and 39 seconds, starting now.
Hi, on behalf of both of us, thank you to everyone who made this night a success. I'm Rick, and this is Mitch, and together we founded Winglet. Winglet compensates domestic airline passengers when their flights are delayed, and the best part is we do it for free.
Before you fly, come to our website to register your name and flight information. And that's it. If your flight is delayed, we send you compensation automatically to your email on file. We monitor up-to-the-minute flight data. If you're delayed, you get paid. Compensation comes in the form of gift cards to local and national companies based on where you live.
So you're probably wondering how we made this free. The gift cards come from our corporate sponsors who want to drive traffic to their business. 67% of consumers who have a gift card will buy something they didn't plan on buying just because they have a gift card. Then 91% of those people will shop again for full price. The value of a returning customer can be worth 10 times the initial investment.
So we launched this side of the business in mid-February. Almost a few hundred people signed up the day we launched this product. And prior to coronavirus, we had passengers flying with Winglet every single day.
Yeah, so our biggest challenge right now is onboarding corporate sponsors during this worldwide chaos. A month ago, we were negotiating with a national airline, and we're not sure if that business will even be in business next week. Thankfully, we have key partners right now, but our biggest goal moving forward into the spring and summer is to bring on dozens more.
The future for Winglet is bright. We are a free service that businesses and consumers already love. And we are going to be extremely valuable in driving revenue to distressed companies in this market. That said, we're always looking to expand and add to our team. We welcome conversations with experts, advisors, and potential investors. Flight delayed,
get paid.
Look at that, everyone. 99 seconds on the button. Way to go, guys. We love that. Alexa, stop. Alexa, set the timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Okay, so now we have, see, I love our audience, AJ. I have comments happening already. That's just so cool. Thank you, everybody, for really participating and adding value, not only to these wonderful founders, but to those who are watching, because we've all learned from your questions. Okay. Emily Schofield, how many airports do you serve?
So we serve over 100 airports. It's most of the major and some of the minor airports in the United States.
Great. And I love that you're pivoting. Here's our founder of Founders Live, Nick Hughes. Will they be gift cards to local businesses, or can they choose to only get local businesses?
Yeah, so I personally love this question. It really depends on where you live and where we partner with businesses. I think half the surprise of getting your gift cards is not knowing where they're coming from. In the future, Mitch has some ideas for the app where he maybe do a quiz, or we kind of figure out a little bit more about a person to be able to give them gift cards that really apply to them. But for now, it's pretty much random.
Yeah, and right now we're pretty much based in Boston, so most of our flyers are going in and out of Logan. And most of partners that we're dealing with currently are e-commerce that can deliver anywhere, but we have been trying to get local businesses in Boston to be a part of it as well.
Great. And so here's Alex asking, how do you track delays?
Yeah, so it's if you just go to Google and put in any flight, you can see exactly where it came through. Flight companies and airlines are required to report all of these delays with the FAA, so it's all public information.
Great. And Robinson's asking, is it going to work outside the U.S. at one point?
We'd love
Mitch, I'll defer to you. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to do that at some point, right? Other countries, they can have it. Our FAA data is readily available, and it's really easy for us to track. Other countries, they don't necessarily have that up-to-the-minute data that we're looking for. And because it's just the two of us, we're also a little bit strapped to deal with that kind of traffic. In the future, as we grow and scale, we certainly would like to expand.
Great. And Anthony is asking, how is the customer's data shared with your corporate sponsors?
Yeah, so we're bringing businesses and consumers together, and that's really the idea of our platform. So as you can expect, when you get a gift card from one of these businesses, the business will get your information back. So it's kind of a shared transaction. Now, if you're going to go there and use the gift card and buy, you're going to put in all of your information anyway. So it's not really that big of a deal. If you're not delayed, we're not sharing your data with any of these companies.
Great. And then we have Michael Smith. Where do you get your flight delay data from? Is it real time?
Yeah, it's FAA data and it's real time. So we handle the delays up to the minute. I mean, as soon as we see a delay come through, we send a gift card directly to the traveler's email address. So
Right.
And
the same day.
Yeah, I will add that a lot of people don't understand what a flight delay is, and it's based on arrival time. So you could get to the airport and you could think you're 45 minutes behind, and they could make up that time in the air and you could land 2 minutes early. So all the data is constructed on the time your wheels hit the runway at your destination.
Great. And our brand ambassador says, how does your platform work? Who's giving the gift cards from the flights?
Yeah, so we're partnering with businesses, local and national. And in our partnership agreement, it says that anyone who signs up on our platform, if they're delayed by more than 60 minutes, that we will send a gift card to their business. So really the gift cards aren't coming from Winlet, they're coming from our corporate sponsors who are trying to drive more traffic to their businesses.
And Steve wants to know, what is the typical gift card value?
Great question. Yeah, so it really depends what the product is. I mean, if we have a local pet store where you can go in and buy a dog leash or some fish food for $10, and the gift card might be $5. But we might have a luggage company or watch company where the gift card could be upwards of $40, $50, $60.
That's awesome. Great audience. Really, there's so many more questions here. Tyler has a question. Paulina has a question. So I encourage you to go onto YouTube and to Facebook and answer them. Caitlin, I think we got her. Yeah, Elizabeth. So I just want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you for bringing your questions in. The guys will be over. And before I bring in Robert and Eric, I just want to say hi to, hey, Diane. Hey,
Diane.
Hi, Diane.
And she's on Periscope, our first Periscope question. Just had to share that. She's the one who introduced me to Nick Hughes, so I could be here with all of you today. So I had to give her some love. All right. So let me go ahead and bring in Eric and Robert. All right, guys. Alexa, set the timer for 4 minutes.
Hey, gents.
Starting now.
Hey, I don't. Do you want me to start, Robert?
Yeah, go ahead.
I had a question going back to the gift cards, right? The gift card value. Are there certain businesses that are better fit even from a margin perspective than others? So, for instance, if I'm spending $60 as a luggage manufacturer, right, and it's high-end luggage, giving a $60 discount might not be that bad, right? But if I'm in a restaurant with low margins, like 2 to 3%, and give a $25 to $30 gift card, it could be fairly significant, right? And is that valuable for me to acquire the customer, right, through this method?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I mean, Mitch and I, in our talks and in our meetings, we try to pitch towards travel companies, travel websites, airlines, and things like that, where the price is a little bit higher, but they can also build in that gift card and still make revenue. Now, if we're pitching to a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks, they're pretty much going to have to give away something for free. So in our pitches and in our efforts, we're trying to spend more of our time focusing on those businesses that this might be a little bit more valuable to, and the data side might even be more valuable to them too, because Starbucks might not care where you're flying, where JetBlue does care what airports you came in and out of.
Okay, and how do you handle international travelers?
So right now, it's all domestic at this point. We're in 101 airports in the U.S., but we're only doing flights that are inside the U.S. On our website, you can't choose anything outside, so we're catering directly to domestic passengers at this time.
Okay, thanks. Robert?
I kept thinking about, but by the way, great job, guys, but I kept thinking about, like, I'm a commuter into the city every day, and as like the Mbta Rail, like, if I got some sort of discount to go to Tavern in the Square or Tavitas or any one of the like the food or beverage places inside of South Station, like that's a good hook for me, and I probably like rank up a little bit of a discount just every single day when we're like 5 minutes late, 2 minutes late, 7 minutes late. That's a really easy, I'm wondering, I think that's probably an easy business to track, and I'm wondering if there's a way of incentivize, like doing that locally and just saying like, okay, you're a restaurant or bar around South Station, North Station, or the boat, which Eric, I know you're a boat guy. if you're on the ferry, if it's late, is there a way to incentivize those people so that they're like not as pissed off at the MBTA and they want to give their business to the companies that are like saying, hey, we know it stinks sometimes when your day gets set off by 10 minutes. We'd love to give you like $2 off for a pint at Tavita's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. And we love that idea. And trust me, we've thought of the slogan, train delayed, get paid, as well as flight delayed.
Yeah.
It is, it's great. It's a little bit harder to track that stuff just because there's not a governing body over it necessarily.
Right.
Where when your plane's late, there's a lot of people in hot water. So it's very public information. But if we got a partner that wanted to do MBTA delays and there was an easy way to track it, then that's absolutely something another vertical we could jump into.
So there's a separate, it's not run by the MBTA. I think it's called Mbta Rail, and it tracks all the trains by GPS, whether they're arriving late or not. And the guy who developed it is actually a Boston guy.
Wow.
Yeah, and I can make that connect for you too if you want. And that might be an interesting inroads because like, I honestly would like, I don't really need an incentive to go to Tavita's. I don't need an incentive to go to Tavern Square. I love those places, but I mean, I would be, I think a lot of passengers, if they got a little pop-up that said, hey, Starbucks would like to give you like 50 cents off of your coffee because your train's late. This is the third time it's late this week. They would be like, they would have a little more brand loyalty because like they're just kind of upset when it's happening, and like just anything to say like, hey, we understand your pain would be appreciated.
Yeah, and that's exactly the mentality that we're putting into the airline delays. People should get paid for sitting at the airport. It's not fair. They expect it, and they shouldn't have to expect that.
Yeah.
And guys, 4 minutes is up, and there are again a lot of wonderful comments in the thread. So hop on over there. Do you want to say hi to any family members at home?
Yeah, my whole family's on. Holly, Tommy. Actually, Holly, I'll link you up with Amy for that question you asked.
Yay! That's the beauty of live streaming is that folks that might be far away are able to tune in. Okay, so I'm going to just say goodbye to all four. Great pitch, you guys. Great question.
Thank you.
And we're done.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, audience. And thank you, Rob and Eric. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. It was awesome.
Yay!
Okay.
All right. Ta-da. Here we go. And Rick.
This is moving along, huh?
Wine.
Yeah. Good job.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and get that banner off, and we'll get ready to bring in our final person pitching tonight. As I mentioned earlier, our wonderful Darren Small from Twilight App could not make it. He has a very important family member who has the COVID-19, the coronavirus, and it's all hands on deck. It's his grandmother. So we send our thoughts and our prayers certainly for a great outcome to him. So up next is Matt Morgan from Freight Flows. How are you, Matt?
Last but not least.
That's right.
Thanks for having us. That's great.
You can see it moves so quickly, and the audience, I got to tell you, I mean, the comments are just fast and furious. I can't get to them all. You guys are so good. All right, so give me just a second, Matt. I'll go and get everything set up over here.
Get that trigger finger going. I got to get through 5 slides fast.
I know. I'll be like, there, next.
It's like you need a refill there, Matt.
I know. Well, this has been long. It's been an hour and 13.
All right, let me just do a quick screen share. And then I'll ask who to do her thing. And present. All right. Alexa, set the timer for 99 seconds.
1 minute and 39 seconds, starting now.
There we go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Morgan, the founder and CEO of Freight Flows. We track all the boats in the world in real time, and we predict what they're going to do next. So we're focusing on bulk shipping. So just to give you an idea, everything that is not container shipping is primarily bulk. So think oil, gas, chemicals. This really accounts for the vast majority of tonnage that's moved around the world. Marine transport as well accounts for nearly 4% of all global climate change emissions. The problem with bulk shipping is that they're like taxis on the water. They pick up a load and they go to where they need to take that load, and it's an entire ship's load that moves. And when they're done, they go searching for the next load. The problem is that most of this business is run on your gut. It's on phone calls and handshakes, and knowledge is really coming from a lot of different manual, anecdotal sources. Next.
Oh, Kai.
So we use proprietary data science algorithms to consolidate all the information we can about global commodities trade data into something that's actionable about the market and something that's predictive. We're helping companies that participate in this market decrease their transport costs, increase the overall efficiency of the market, and capture new revenue opportunities. Next. So as an example, a major trading company needs to move a tanker full of oil from Houston to the Far East. They're going to pay between $1.2 million and $2 million. Now that's a huge $800,000 swing, which causes havoc when they're trying to, with their planning, and impacts their already slim margins. Next. So we bring together hundreds of millions of messages a day about all these vessel positions and weather and contracts, and bring it together into something that is understandable by people who participate in the marketplaces. Next.
I'm a little delayed, yeah, so I'll let you continue with this slide and then we'll stop.
Well, this is our team. So my father was an oil tanker ship captain for 20 years, ran the Port of Los Angeles pilot station, construction and maintenance properties as well. And the rest of our team comes from commodities and the analytics space. So we're really the right team to solve this problem.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So we're going to let the stream get a little caught up because there's about a 6 or 8 second delay.
Sure.
And I know there are going to be some great questions coming up for you, Matt. And so in the meantime, as we wait for this to get caught up, audience, your questions are so important. Bring them on. I know you're going to have some questions about moving product and managing the flow of freights.
Yeah, this is a multi-trillion-dollar business, right? And so it's a really hidden and unsexy industry that most people don't really know about. And so, there's huge problems that exist there, but not enough people who are working to solve those problems.
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
Literally. Oh, you do? Go ahead, AJ.
Well, let's go with Elizabeth D first. Is data gathering via satellite?
Yeah. So there's an industry around collecting vessel position information. So all these large vessels around the world emit radio broadcasts that share information about their vessel and where they're going. It's really a safety broadcast, so they're not running into each other in congested areas. So we work with terrestrial antenna partners and satellite partners that listen into these radio broadcasts and collect them all and aggregate them into a huge pool of vessel messages, which we can use to plot on maps with coordinates. Now the problem is that we're using this not in the way it's intended. So this is a very dirty data set, and it's delivered right now as a dot on the map kind of solution. So what we're doing is providing the context around these dots on a map, understanding and predicting what they're actually doing, what kind of commercial behaviors they're doing, so that we can help them better understand what's actually happening out there in the world. Data is really wielded as a competitive advantage in this market. People don't like to share. It's very fragmented and very, very competitive. Like I said, these guys are like taxi drivers on the water, and so they're fighting for every fare.
You want to go ahead and AJ, or you want me to continue from the stream?
My question is, who exactly are your customers? Are they the ports, the delivery, or are they the actual people who are like the companies that are shipping?
All right. So this is the last unregulated commercial market in the world. So the sea is lawless. All right. And so it really is any two people who come together and shake their hands, they're going to move the product around the world. So we're helping people who are conducting business, commercial business, to bring them together much easier because the data is not available out there. There is no clearinghouse for this information. So we're bringing it all together to them so they understand what the marketplace looks like. And those are what are the drivers of what the rates are going to pay. Today, they really have no idea what they're going to pay to transport their cargoes in a couple of weeks. So we are primarily focusing on the shippers, people who own the cargoes. We're helping the carriers who are trying to find those shippers, and we're helping the shipping brokers who are is really a legacy industry today, bringing those two people together manually. And we're also helping people who are trading in the futures side of this business, because this business in the commodity space, incredibly volatile. And it's the same thing with the freight rates as well, incredibly volatile. And not having an idea of what the market is doing really can impact their business significantly.
And your competition?
So our biggest competitor today are our customers. Everybody, all of our customers are trying to do this. They're trying to understand what's happening out in the market. We do have some legacy competitors as well who are providing adjacent services to help companies in this space, but they're very slow moving and they're not taking this more data science algorithmic approach to this large data set and help drive real change in decision making and helping them with more real-time decision making. And so there are some legacy competitors, and there are some recent entrants in the space as well that are a little bit smaller that are trying to make some headway into the industry as well. But everyone's trying to get an edge.
What projects do you have going now? Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. So we just recently commercialized. It's been the better part of a year. We've been working with this data for close to 5 years now. We had a previous startup as well that was acquired in 2016 to work with the kind of predictive data that we were doing in global trade. So we have been trying and failing now for years to try and figure out how to do this. So we've recently commercialized, and tough time to be recently commercializing, but we brought on our first company a couple months ago and have been really working to bring them a lot of value. This is a company that was spending about 5 hours a day trying to understand what's happening in the market, and we've brought that down to less than 5 minutes. So now instead of reacting to the market, they can be much more proactive.
And Adalia wants to know, could this make this trade more environmentally friendly?
Absolutely. This is a big part of what we're doing. This is one of the largest polluters in the world, is maritime transportation. I told you before, the sea is lawless. And so when they're at sea, they can burn whatever they want. So if they're trying to move around the world and they're empty, that's a problem. So if we help them find these customers sooner and faster, then they're not going to be circling like a taxi would out there looking for business. They can better make decisions on where to go next, because they know that the market is going to be looking up for them. A lot of cargoes are coming to market. So we can significantly impact how much dead legs or empty legs that they have out there on the ocean. We think that we could impact close to 0.5% for global climate change emissions just by helping people find each other better.
This is one last question, then we're bringing in Robert and Eric.
Right, so this, as I said before, vessels reporting their positions. This is a radio broadcast that's happening constantly. It's a safety broadcast, and it's broadcast around the vessel, say 20 miles in all directions. And if you have an antenna listening into that broadcast, you can collect some of the information about that as well and put a dot on a map. And that's how the vessels automatically are communicating with each other. It's something called AIS. So this message is being sent out, say, every 20 seconds. So it is extremely granular if you have an ear to listen to it. So our coverage today is global. The nature of global shipping is global. And if you want to predict what's happening in any one local market in the world, you have to understand the ripple effect of what's happening around the globe. So the amount of vessel positions we get is over 500 million positions a day.
Wow, Tyler, great question. And I'm now just going to say our brand ambassador, Mama, says, my dad and brother are both in the shipping industry. I want to connect you with them. So
please do, absolutely. We'd love to have them.
Great.
Yeah, so let me go get Robert and Eric.
Hi, guys.
Alexa, set the timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, starting now.
Go, guys.
Go, Eric.
All right. Hey, Matt. Good to see you again. Good. Thanks.
Hi. Thank you.
I've got 3 questions for you. Can you elaborate a bit more about your revenue model overall and how you feel the pricing? Is it, finding price market fit as well? Second is talk a bit more about go-to-market, especially in this fragmented old industry, right? And then third is how are you, if at all, adjusting to current conditions out there?
All right, I'm going to try and remember all these. So business model. So we are a subscription-based business model. Our customers in this space are used to paying for access to data or tools to help them run their business today. So we charge between $50,000 and $250,000 a year for access to these predictions and analytics and global data. It is a starting point for us. We think that there's a lot more opportunities to go wider here, but this is a starting point. And it's been through interviews with people that we know in the market. In fact, our first 10 customers are going to be coming from our own internal networks as well, and have all been willing to spend much, much more than that. In fact, the subscriptions they have today are can be well in excess of that amount to get access to data that's incomplete, unverified, spotty, and we're helping them kind of bring all these together into something that's that they can use much easier and have much more confidence in. So business model. The next one was what?
Go-to-market, sales and marketing, and especially the
So you didn't even leave me any turf to land on after these questions.
Sorry. So our first 10 customers are coming from our own internal network. I've been in this business for a lot of years. Family's been in business for a lot of years. We know a lot of people, and we've been working with these customers for a lot of years now through multiple businesses. So we've heard from them now for years about the problems they have for making decisions and being confident in these decisions in the marketplace. As I said before, it's gut feel, right? So these first 10 customers are coming from our internal network, and then we're moving to a model that's more direct, where we're going to be reaching them in some of the areas that they congregate with certain conferences and networks where there are a lot of them kind of congregate, and we've been to those as well. So we'll be expanding our sales force there to reach them specifically in a couple areas around the globe, the U.S. Northeast and Gulf. London is a big financial hub for this market, and Northern Europe. Singapore as well is where our customers primarily live. We also have partners in these areas that we've been talking to or that we know personally who would be helping us reach those customers in those locations. Yeah. Lastly, how are we handling it now? Well, we found that a lot of people have kind of gone into hiding as they're trying to get their feet under them, but we think that this is an opportunity that is going to be, when there is more that's unknown, you have to rely on information that you can be much more sure of. Instead of gut feeling, you need to have something that's actually tangible. So through conversations we've had recently with people that we're talking to in our pipeline at this point, they have talked to us about how this is becoming a priority, and they need to start focusing on this information now because so much is unknown. Not having something structured and tangible is really impacting their business. And an example would be when politically, if someone shuts the door on trade for some commodity, say soybeans to China, no one knows how that's going to affect the market around the world. With our information, you can see in real time how the global trade market for soybeans is adjusting due to some political event. And in this case, a pandemic event, we can see in real time how it's being impacted. Sorry, Robert.
No, Matt, that was like Saved by the Bell. I feel very fortunate that Alexa came to the rescue there. I did have a quick question. Two quick questions. Are you aware of the blue tech? Eric, dude, that was going to be mine.
Trump card, man. Trump card.
Dude. Okay. Are you aware of the blue tech accelerator that's at CIC on 50 Milk?
We were one of the first members there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. And then the second one, are you going to sell the data to hedge funds? Is that part of the play?
The answer is yes, but it's one thing at a time. We're focusing more on the operational folks right now. There's a longer term marketplace play that we'd like to talk about at another time, but we have to demonstrate value to each of these market participants now in order to legitimize that marketplace play later. Hedge funds have definitely been talking to us quite a bit, but while there's an opportunity there, I think it's more flash in the pan opportunity. We have to demonstrate this in the real world market before we have some longer term opportunities in that space.
Awesome. Thank you. That was really great.
Great presentation.
AJ, what was that?
When it comes to your pricing model, so what's the driver of that range? It's a wide range, 50 to 250K. Is it how often the user is capturing that data, or is it how wide that data point is?
All the data has to be the widest possible because there is no origin and destination that's bounded by some imaginary line, right? If international shipping is international shipping, we segment it by fleet types. So we have 3 different tiers of customers that we see. A large trading company that's trading in both wet and dry bulk. So think wets, you got oils and chemicals, things like that. And then you've got dry bulk, which is like ores and aggregates. And they're playing in both. So that's going to be on the larger end. But then you'll have companies that are focusing more on just wet bulk or just dry bulk, where we have a smaller tier. And then you'll find them that are even more focused within them, that are trading only on specific fleet types or classifications of vessels. And in that case, we can get a little bit smaller as well. So much more focused on.
Continue that in the green room.
That's right. Sorry.
And Matt, just like the others, phenomenal questions are in here. You know, Anthony has a great question, and Gamal Walker. Yeah, so we've got a bunch of great questions in here. Mike had a great question. So anyway, hop into the thread, make that happen, because we've got to vote now. So I'm going to
thanks, everybody.
Out. Thank you so much. Way, Matt, brilliant. Really good. So I'm going to kick you guys out, and we're going to do the vote now, right, AJ?
We are.
Hold on, and Matt. Woo! All right. I will screen share, and you can share.
Yeah, so the voting, folks, is actually pretty easy. You're just going to take your mobile device and just open the camera. You want to, there you go. Open the camera and just scan that QR code. Place your camera up to that QR code. You'll see it'll take you straight into the Founders Live platform, where you'll just quickly log in through Facebook. Take about 2 seconds. And then it'll direct you straight into the voting poll. And it looks like this.
So, and you go ahead and you start voting. Thank you so much, because remember, the person who wins this crowd favorite gets more time with the experts. And what else, AJ?
They also get 10K in AWS credit.
Woo! Excellent. Oh, we've got it's everybody's, lots of voting going on here, folks. This is wonderful. Take your time, get that QR code up there. Make it happen. In the meantime, while we're sitting here and we don't have any of the we can talk about our next event. What would you like to chat about while people are voting?
Yeah, we definitely want to talk about the next event, which is Thursday, April 30th. We kind of have a feeling it's going to be virtual again. But if it's not, we'll definitely inform you. After we do the live voting, we'll take you straight to that screen where you could actually register, get that on your calendar so you don't forget, and you'll be able to join us again.
Yep, absolutely. We've got, some tight voting happening here. We're going to give it a few more minutes. I forgot to ask Alexa to wait 5 minutes, AJ. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's extremely tight.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you, everybody, for getting on and voting for your crowd favorite. And we've got a lot of votes still coming in. Every time
it's tight.
It is tight. Yay. And I'll just pull this up while I don't want to take away from the screen, but thank you to, Dahlia and to Brandon and Anthony and Gamal and so many wonderful people, Michael, and Elizabeth D. You've come in and shared your wonderful comments and feedback. Thank you, Nick. We miss you already. He had to go on to an 8:30 call. Eric, you're amazing too. Couldn't do this without you. Eric Cox from Media Prepared.
Eric, thank you so much. We just have a really good, supportive community. Here in Boston. We're so fortunate.
Betsy, hey, you're Elizabeth D, I bet, right? That's great. Thank you so much for participating tonight in the live event. AJ and I are so used to seeing everybody, so it's so great when we see you in the stream here, because we miss you all so much.
Yeah, it's quite different, but very much necessary.
Oh my gosh. Geez, we've got a lot of people. Boom, boom, boom.
If anyone, while we're going to wrap up voting in just about a minute, if anyone has any questions for us, me and Andy, feel free to just pop it in the chat and we'll ask whatever questions you have about how to apply to pitch at Founders Live.
Always looking for
process, whatever
Great.
questions you have, let us know.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you, Elizabeth. They were awesome companies. And Danielle Fonseca. Thanks, guys. Awesome online event. Thank you. I'll just do a little show there. Yay.
Danielle, thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Paulina. We love you. We miss you. Oh,
Thank you, Paulina. Paulina was an expert panel a couple of months ago. She did an
right.
We're so fortunate. Again, in Boston, we have such a great community of mentors that come to our events every single month. Angel investors, service providers that want to engage with other startups, huge startup founder community, super heavily engaged community in Boston.
We have the most amazing tie tonight. And Mama, our brand ambassador, who's out there working the crowd tonight, thank you. You do such a great job for us every month.
Oh, wow. Yep.
And Megan, yeah, these are some really cool companies. And by the voting, like everybody, it's tied with one just sort of slipping out ahead.
Really good batch tonight.
Okay,
and
so
should we announce the winner?
We have a winner.
Let's bring the two experts back.
All right. Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm out of Coronas.
Yeah, I need to refresh like probably 30 minutes ago.
I
haven't had time, frankly. It's like cooking and drinking. I can't do all of these monitoring things and drink at the same time.
Yeah, I'll help you out with that. Don't worry.
Okay.
The winner, folks.
Go ahead and announce the winner. Okay.
I'll let you do the honors this
Oh
time.
my gosh. Guys, it was a tie and all three of them, but one of them slipped ahead a little, and it's Freight Flows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Freight Flow.
Yeah, amazing.
Congrats.
Thank you, guys.
But seriously, Audubey's to Tara Winglet, you were all tied like right neck and neck, right behind him. So, I mean, clearly we had a lot of folks who were in love with all four companies. Matt got just a little bit of an edge over. And so thank you so much for pitching. And now, Alexa, set the timer for 5 minutes. Experts, you can go even deeper. And audience, throw in some questions, more questions. I'll pull some of the old questions from Matt as well. But you go ahead, experts.
And not only questions, you know, definitely start off with questions, but at the end, want you to definitely give some advice to Matt about whether it's his industry, whether it's if he's going to end up, you know, raising funding. What kind of advice do you have that he should be looking out for as he continues this journey?
Okay, Robert, you want to go ahead since I took a lot of time before?
You want to take all the good questions and now all the good comments. All right, now that there's nothing left, there's no green field for me to land on, and I'm way over my head. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate the compliment.
Here's a good one. Here you go.
No, I have one, Andy. Jeez.
Okay.
So there are a couple. I think you're onto something, and I was making some vigorous notes while you're talking. There are two other local companies that aren't necessarily focused on shipping, but they're focused on commodities and the supply chain, the global supply chain of physical commodities. I'm not going to say their names, but do you know who they are, and like are you working with them on some things and trying to solve these problems?
We are. I'm thinking I know the same ones, but we're talking to several of them in the commodity supply chain world.
Okay.
And some of them as customers, some of them as partners. Some of them we've already been in talks. They've been offering up to acquire the company, even though we've just begun. So it's not quite time for that, guys. Let's wait. But yeah, we're talking to a lot of different people. Of course, we want to be careful to not talk to, cast the net too wide. We really want to be focused on delivering that value to the people in the space immediately and as quickly as possible. So while we're talking with a lot of them, it's only in trying to focus on getting this value to the customers now.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, are you raising any funding? And if so, Or
Well, yeah, well, I mean, just about a month and a half ago, we started we've bootstrapped the company till now.
Right.
You know, we've had a previous startup where we were successful in raising quite a bit of cash and sold the company. So we, you know, we're fortunate enough to be able to bootstrap the company for the better part of a year. And we did that to wait to have some market validation first. Before we started raising the capital, as we brought on our first company, we said, all right, let's get capital in the door. So we have a round that's in process at the moment, and it is on shaky footing. And we've been talking with several of them now that, you know, they say, well, you know, this our stock that's, you know, we have right now is cut in half. So we'd love to participate. You got to give us a little bit more time here as we figure this out. So any advice here would be great.
So you're going, it sounds like you're doing mainly individuals with maybe one lead institutional. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been a little, you know, we've been talking with some of the people we know in the institutional space for a while. The tricky part here is that institutionals are primarily investing in what they know. There are not many institutionals that have invested in this space before, even though the space is enormous. We've found that we've just been educating a lot of people who are enthusiastic and excited about this big greenfield space to them, but they can't get there on the diligence side because they don't have the experience in the market. So we've had to instead start talking with the individuals. And while we have some folks that are interested in, you know, a larger check to more or less lead the round, it's going to be filled out by individuals most likely, or micro VCs if they still exist.
Some of them do, because luckily some of them closed like a good amount of their LPs got their commitments in.
Nice.
I have it on good authority, and will be ripe and happy to meet with you. So
fantastic. We'd love to talk to them.
Yeah.
Opening doors, Founders Live.
Yeah. So I did see a question that popped up from the audience about tech stack, and, you know, of course, I'd love to address some of that as well.
Yes, coming. Hold on, I saw that. Okay. Yes, Anthony.
So think of the data that we're getting as sort of that Twitter fire hose, just like Anthony you're talking about. So there is a ton of data. The problem is there's a multi-step approach that we have to do. First, there is no clean data set that you can use to train your models on the machine learning side, data science side. So our first step for us is sourcing all the data that we can get our hands on, both public and private. There's actually quite a bit of private data that people that we know are interested in sharing, because they're looking to kind of cast a wide net to get more business. So we get a lot of information about what's actually happening on board these vessels outside of just the outside looking in kind of approach. So we first structure it. And in fact, the first value comes from just structuring the data into something that's voyage data, where it already has a ton of value for people because they already find it so difficult now to even understand what the market's doing. The first step comes with organizing and structuring it in a way that they're used to working with, not a fire hose, but structured into voyages and port stays and market activities. And then on the second side is on the algorithmic side, of course, where we have our team has a lot of years of experience in working with this type of data, and specifically in machine learning side. We could say that we've tried just about everything to improve our models in the space. So there are a lot of work that we're doing here. Of course, I don't want to talk about all of it. A lot of this comes kind of from our expertise, but yeah, on the machine learning side, of course, we're going really deep in trying to improve our predictive models here.
Great. Hey, 5 minutes is up. Thank you, Anthony, for that great comment.
Wait, we got to give Eric one. We got to give Eric one question. I took up all of his time. Give him one, please.
Just maybe a question or a piece of advice, Matt.
Yes.
You know, your current first customer, and it seems like your next set of customers are coming from your current or previous relationships, right?
Yeah.
That you have. One thing investors are going to be looking for as you continue on and gain traction is, can you convert that then to new customers, right? And what kind of scalability can you drive there? So think about that as well.
Great. Thank you, Eric.
Yep.
Congratulations, Matt.
Amazing. Thank you all so much, and thank you all to everybody who's watching. We appreciate it very much.
Oh my God. So we have a little, let me just put this and that banner, and I think AJ and I were talking about doing one last piece of advice for viewers. Do you still want to do that as far as those startup founders who are watching the live stream this evening? Any thoughts, Eric? or Robert or Andy or AJ?
Yeah, who wants to go first? And basically any piece of advice you would give, especially dealing in these, tough times right now, any piece of advice you want to give to the entire Founders Life community, whether they're service providers, whether they're startup founders.
Yeah, and Paulina, I know you're out there. I bet you have something. I know Diane always is giving tremendous advice everywhere she goes online. Anybody in the comment thread wants to throw something out to help folks, pull it up on the screen.
I think Robert has something.
I think like whenever I see everyone doing one thing, my instinct is to go the other way. And so if you're seeing trends of everybody doing the same thing, like just don't follow those trends. Like you're a founder for a reason. You think differently, and that's what's gotten you to this point. Like continue to think differently and use this time wisely. Like don't waste this pause that we have and be caught off balance when we come back. Be ready to roll, have a plan and be ready to execute. And then just don't follow the masses. That's where common thinking gets you common results. Like be an innovator and be innovative in your thinking, your approach during this time too.
Great advice, Bob. Great advice.
Great advice, Robert. Thank you. I'm just going to start off. This is a great time for founders as they're on pause to remember that it's a good time to build your founder skills. Where are you where's the weak spot for you? What can you be shoring up right now? Going deeper in. And then also thinking about, well, when things do come back, what can you be doing with your business, be adding on, and what systems and procedures that you haven't had time to pull together because you've been so darn busy, what could you be doing now?
Okay,
Andy.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I think this is a good opportunity for founders and CEOs and CTOs, the entire leadership team, to learn how to be leaders in the war, not just peace. Yeah. And that's usually very different, right? And use it as a learning opportunity to be a better leader, and also how to culturally instill the right culture in a time of stress.
Great advice, Eric.
Excellent.
Mine would probably be, use this time, like Andy said, wisely. Do a lot of reading, a lot of personal development, because as founders, especially as early stage as a lot of us are, you're going to be wearing a lot of hats. Now you're going to be wearing even more hats. So the more you could add more skills to your repertoire, read a lot of books, and really cultivate some additional skills to be able to set out those fires that are going to be coming left and right over the next couple of months. So read. I got several books I'm reading right now.
What are you reading?
Yeah,
I see what Andy's reading. What are you reading, AJ?
I'm reading Get a Grip. Really amazing book about organizational development and dealing with teams. So read as much as possible before your customers, so you can learn before your customers, before your partners, and definitely before your investors learn that you have no idea what you're doing.
And then Diane from Seattle, her great business photo pad. Great advice as always. Keep moving forward. Don't stop because of the virus. Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you to everybody for participating tonight. Thank you, Eric and Robert, for bringing just such great energy, focus, insights, feedback, questions, connections, collaborations to the Founders Live Boston event. We're so grateful.
Definitely. Andy, can you throw up the slide for the next event, which is April 30th? Everyone registers, so you could add that to your calendar, whether it'll be a in-person event or whether it'll be virtual. Definitely RSVP today and put that on your calendar. We're going to have another group of 5 amazing startups. And if you are a founder and you want to pitch at the next event, definitely reach out to either me or Andy, and we'll interview you and get you locked in and loaded. Okay. Now is the time, guys, all our audience, to really lean into your mission and use this community. Use our Founders Live community to evangelize that mission. During this crisis, Same thing in 2008, 2009. Some of the biggest unicorns were born during the crisis, from Slack to Airbnb to Cabbage to Square to WhatsApp. The list goes on and on. Uber, as entrepreneurs, this is our time, folks. Let's solve the biggest challenges that exist out there, and let's make it happen. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, all of our live streamers out there, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Thank you so much. Vanessa, CIC, you rock. We'll be back soon, guys. To the entire CIC community, thank you so much. Thank you, Eric, Media Prepared. Thank you, Omama, one of our amazing ambassadors from Tomorrow's Prosperity Group. Thank you so much for your amazing support. We'll be back together again in person to give each other hugs. And thank you so much, guys. Andy, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, just going to do some last minute, folks chiming in. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Let's see, up there it is. Yay, Rachel. Yes, we'll hug soon. I know we will. Thank you, Dick. Thanks everybody for tuning in and helping us through our first live stream pitch event for the Founders Live International Community. Talking to all you city leaders out there. You saw us pull it off. It went great, I think. So you do it too. It's a great way to reach folks. Thank you, Michael from New York City, Founders Live.
Mike.
And to everybody, we'll see you next month. Connect with these founders and each one of the founders tonight. Thank you so much for showing up and having the courage to put your dreams, your business in front of the world like this. Bravo. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Awesome.